My name is Devlin, and I have grown up in a wildlife rehabilitation center, making it so I have been surrounded by animals since birth, and I have taken part in raising them. Something I enjoy doing in my spare time is creating worlds with digital programs, with their own stories and creatures within them. I also like to illustrate these creatures with pencil and paper. Although I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, I have very clear interests in art and wish to pursue and develop these interests in the next 4 years to come. A 3D shape is a combination of corners lining up to make edges, so that the edges can create the outline for a side, so that the sides may stand beside the other sides to become a shape. It does not matter how many corners, edges, or sides, or what way they come together, as long as in the end, they are all one. This allows for endless possibilities of creation, and such is shown by our simple existence in a three-dimensional universe, due to everything around us, on a rudimentary level, being made with this formula. Since there are computer programs that allow the ability to add, change, and manipulate these ingredients, I chose to create a few models of humanoid creatures that I can export into Roblox Studio, then animate. Sounds easy enough. What could go wrong? The first step to learning any medium is to understand the tools you are working with. In my case, the first thing I did was to look up YouTube tutorials on how to use Blender. This made me even able to begin to understand how I was supposed to do anything with the program. It was a small start, but it was a start nonetheless. So onwards I pressed to get my finished project. This is what I called the fun part, because watching a six-sided cube become a who knows how many sided torso was a fun thing to do, and we will see more of it later. The hardest part of the modeling process was making the limbs actually look like limbs, because sure, you can make them look like a smoothened out cylinder, but that would not only be lazy, but ugly. Adding these details seems simple enough, and you would be partly right. There are several tricks making it easier to do this, although they are a little strange. During such times, I like to say, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. The second hardest part is making the arms and legs be symmetrical in the ways that when you turn them around, they look like the same limb just turned 180 degrees. This means the only uneven areas you can make are in the y-axis. This may seem weird, but hopefully I can make it less weird by this example. Yeah. The next step is exporting the models to Roblox, which is no joke 3 clicks with a mouse and typing on a keyboard. So this part wins the easiest part award. Now that the modeling process is over, we can get on to the next part, which is rigging and animating in Roblox Studio. This part was pretty easy since I've used Roblox Studio in the past. All I had to do was group the meshes, give them all names, give the model a humanoid so that it wasn't just a bunch of parts, give it a humanoid root part, open the rig editor plugin, and rig stuff together. Easy! Aside from a few unexplainable glitches that no joke blinked out of existence on their own, it was okay. But still, I feel I have to take some time to marvel over this glitch that fixed itself after I simply watched several tutorials, hoping that they could help me fix it. But when I went back to try and fix the bug, it wasn't happening anymore. Strange, huh? That doesn't matter though, because the next step was to animate the model, and about an hour or two later, I had this. It could be better, but it shows that the model can be animated. There are 2 things I chose to keep out of this narrative so that it is as straightforward as possible, but I still think it is important to talk about these things now. Change number 1, the map. After I rigged the first humanoid, I thought it was only right to make an area that fits the design of this creature. I feel I did an okay job, but I still felt it was right to add a big ol' eye that follows you around at the top of this mountain. Change number 2, the second humanoid. I decided to make a model of one of the creatures I drew. The process went the same as the other animatable character, although the model is a little more complex. Although in the animation I chose to add an item for the creature to hold in the animation. All I had to do was make the item a part of the rig, and I was done. Then I chose to change the map a little and make it so the first creature and this new creature were having some sort of interaction. Okay. In the end, I am pretty happy with how this all ended up together, and I feel that I was able to create something that was at the very least interesting. However, I have never talked about why and how this is a mosaic. This is what I am about to explain. In any of these shapes, you have several parts coming together to form the wanted shape. These parts being the corners, edges, and sides, creating the shape in a mosaic-like pattern. And the limbs of these creatures are different sections coming together as well. Heck, even the 2 programs working together could be part of the mosaic. Something that is completely off topic but is still worth noting is that since we live in a world that is completely made of 3D shapes, and we have software that can emulate such 3D shapes like this one, we can practically make anything we can imagine as long as we have the technical capabilities and time to spare. And the best part is that this technology is becoming more advanced and has capabilities that can affect the real world as well in 3D printing. But the part that really matters to me is this as a creative medium, because that's where you can truly open a door into an endless hallway of creativity.